and I'm very sorry for being late coming here because I don't know the way from the house that I'm staying in to here, to this building.
Muchas gracias por venir. Siento la tardanza porque no sabía el camino para llegar.
First of all, I want also to thank the organization that invited me here, giving me the opportunity to talk about the Sahrawi resistance in the occupied territory of Western Sahara, which is forgotten by the world in general.
Muchas gracias a la organización por invitarme a este evento para hablar del Sáhara Occidental ocupado, que es una causa olvidada.
As everybody might know, the conflict of Western Sahara has been continued since 1975, when Morocco decided, together with the Spanish government and with Mauritania, to just occupy the country by force and control the Sahrawi people by force, killing thousands of people, taking thousands of Sahrawi people to the prison, tortured them, raped them, and just put them under sand while they are survived.
Como muchos sabéis, el conflicto del Sáhara Occidental desde 1975, en el que Marruecos, España y Mauritania ocuparon por la fuerza y controlaron el Sáhara Occidental, matando a miles de personas, desapareciéndolas, violando, etc.
So this tragedy, which already done by Moroccan occupying power against Sahrawi people, was pushed the people of the occupied territory to just resistance peacefully against it and raise up their voice, asking for their free rights, which are independence and dignity.
Esta tragedia, con la ocupación marroquí y el control del Sáhara Occidental contra la gente que se resiste pacíficamente a la ocupación.
Going back to 1975, we find men and women together involved in the resistance of Sahrawi people actively. During the war, there were a lot of women raise up weapons together with Sahrawi men and build the refugee camps, for example. Also talking about the suffering of the people. The women suffered from the oppression of Morocco, from the violation the same as men. We have examples of women who spent 16 years in the prison. We have examples of women who died under torture, and still we have the same people who were lucky and become out of the prisons and still continue their fights, especially women.
I need to speak short paragraph. Perdón. Desde 1975 y la guerra que siguió la ocupación, mujeres y hombres han resistido, han construido los campamentos de refugiados y han sufrido la persecución, el asesinato y la violencia.
Yes, I want just to insist that the same women who spent these years in the prison, and we are talking here about 16 years in the prison, are still now together with us, the new generations, in the peaceful resistance in the occupied territory.
Estas mujeres que estuvieron 16 años desaparecidas están también acompañándonos a las nuevas generaciones en la resistencia pacífica en el Sáhara Occidental.
Yes, so in general, the way that we used to protest the occupation, as you see in this picture, there is like a lot of Moroccan flags. I took this picture. This is Smara Street, which is the biggest street in the center of the city, Laayoune, the capital.
Esta foto que tomé yo misma, quiero mostraros la resistencia pacífica, es la avenida de Smara, en la ciudad de Laayoune, la capital del Sáhara Occidental.
And you can see how Morocco is using hundreds of flags just to make the city as a part of Morocco and to make their surveillance by force on the Sahrawi people,
Podéis ver la cantidad de banderas marroquíes que está utilizando el gobierno de ocupación para demostrar su poder sobre el Sáhara Occidental.
And just from the picture you will see how they are like controlling us from a, very specific way.
En la foto podéis ver cómo nos controlan de una manera muy específica.
Okay, this is a picture that I took of a woman who is a wife of a prisoner, a Sahrawi political prisoner who is now in the prison.
Esta foto es de una mujer que es la esposa de un preso político ahora en prisión.
Who is sentenced to life in the prison. He belongs to the music group.
Sentenciado a cadena perpetua, pertenece al grupo de Jemisik.
The song that she is drawing, the letters in Arabic, she is saying that we are asking for the release of our husbands' sons from the Moroccan prisoners.
Lo que pone en la pintada es que pedimos que suelten a nuestros maridos y a nuestros hijos de las prisiones marroquíes.
And this is one of the ways that we use to express our feeling, to express what we want in our country. We drawing on the walls and we painting in walls.
Esta es una de las maneras de mostrar lo que sentimos por nuestro país, pintando y escribiendo en las paredes.
And of course this has happened without the police knowing about it or seeing it us.
Por supuesto, sin que la policía se entere ni nos vea.
Because after, of course, they notice that somebody is like writing on the wall, they will just come and beating him and take him to the prison. And this is what happened to many activists.
En cuanto la policía nos vea, podemos ser atacados, golpeados y detenidos, que es lo que le ha pasado a muchos activistas.
There is another way which is the most useful for the people in Western Sahara, demonstrate peacefully in the public streets.
Hay otra manera que es la más útil para protestar en las calles del Sahara Occidental.
Resistance, like protests.
Protesta de resistencia.
Raising the flags of Sahara Republic Democrat, expressing that we want the control of Sahrawi government, not Moroccan government.
Desplegando las banderas del Sahara Occidental, demostrando que queremos el control del gobierno y no de Marruecos.
And of course the reaction of the Moroccan police is the same. Just violated the women, trying to beaten up all the women who are speaking or who are protesting in the streets. As you see here in this picture, a lot of policemen with a civilian uniform trying to take the pictures of the prisoners and just violate the women.
Enseguida la violencia de la policía no se hace esperar, van vestidos de paisanos, violentan a las mujeres, le quitan la pancarta de los presos políticos.
And here I want to mention a very important thing that people might not notice, that the police, when they start intervene by force against any demonstration, they target the picture, the flags, the slogans before they start beating the demonstrators.
Quiero aclarar que la policía primero se centra en retirar las pancartas, las fotos y las banderas y después empieza a atacar.
Because of course they are afraid from being documented by the activists, the media activists in the occupied territory, who are trying to make all the violations visible, who are also trying to make aware about the thoughts of Sahrawi people.
Porque la policía está asustada de que lo documenten los activistas de los medios y del poder que tienen ellos.
And this is Morocco used, when there is a demonstration, because I want to explain this. Usually we're filming demonstration. It's not it doesn't take a long time because the police is coming so fast and they just target demonstration and they target the photos, all the things that might show what we want, our demands. Then they can just take them away and say in international conferences that there is also only a protest of people who are asking for very normal rights, which are social rights, or just asking for getting a job, not independence or...
Sí, cuando estamos filmando nos hemos dado cuenta del hecho de que la policía retira primeramente las banderas y pancartas y fotos y luego pasa a atacar y golpear, para luego decir y declarar que esto ha sido protestas por el empleo, por cualquier otro derecho que no es la independencia.
So this is a demonstration which was like just few months ago. The women go to the streets asking for rights, raising the flags, but this was in the earlier morning. And the meeting or arrangements of this demonstration, it was some meeting which organized by secret and we collect the women in the houses. We use like specific cars of some activists and just take all the women to the public street and give them flags and this kind of lafite. Lafite, ¿sí? Yes.
Pues es una foto de hace pocos meses con una protesta de mujeres que se convocó en secreto y la manera que las convocábamos y las recogíamos en un coche y las concentrábamos aquí, les facilitábamos pancartas y banderas.
And here I want to talk about the strategy that we use. Maybe you have like a space here, free spaces that you can, when you are like working in any protest, you meet each other freely and like sharing information, sharing ideas, but it is completely different in the occupied territory.
Quizá aquí vosotras tenéis espacios donde expresaros o manifestaros, donde podéis protestar. Es muy diferente en el Sahara Occidental, donde no tenemos eso mismo.
We are not in the occupied territory. The Sahrawi activists, especially activists, because they are known by the Moroccan government, and are not allowed even in meeting each other in very like normal meeting without like doing any protests or just to meet your like friends in activism. You are not allowed because your houses is going to be surrounded and you will be prevented by visit any of your friends.
En el caso de los activistas especialmente hay una prohibición incluso de encontrarse como si se pudieran encontrar como amigos, porque enseguida la casa de esta persona va a ser rodeada y asaltada.
So this has happened in our normal daily life. You can imagine if we decide to do like a protest or organize something against the occupation, will be more difficult and complicated.
Este es el día a día que vivimos cuando queremos protestar, cada vez resulta más y más complicado.
So when we are like have occasion to organize a protest, we are trying to go like just moving from a house to a house. We don't use phones. We don't like call our colleagues and tell them like about where we meet because everything is controlled by Morocco.
Para convocar estas protestas vamos de casa en casa, tampoco utilizamos los teléfonos porque está controlado por la policía.
We don't use like this social media, WhatsApp or Facebook to communicate with our colleagues.
No utilizamos redes sociales, ni WhatsApp, ni Facebook para comunicarnos con nuestros colegas.
So we like just go to the houses and meet people physically.
Vamos a cada una de las casas y nos encontramos con las personas físicamente.
And decide about like at which time we will organize the protest and where we can like organize it. Then we can think about the way that we will go through to make it succeed without the police came and target it.
Entonces hablamos, decidimos la hora y el lugar y nos organizamos para que la protesta se haga sin que la policía pueda localizarla.
I want to clarify a very important thing, which is the military blockade. In Western Sahara, all the streets are full of the police and are full of the settlers who are improving or who are like support the Moroccan military.
Quiero aclarar que las calles de la Sahara ocupado están llenas de policías y de militares dispuestos a bloquear las calles en cualquier momento.
we are talking here about like an incredible amount of the military, thousands of military in the occupied territory, just to make the Sahrawi people silent, and they have succeeded in this.
La presencia de miles y miles de militares en el Sáhara ocupado para prevenir a los saharauis de reclamar sus derechos.
And this is what will make our work very difficult.
Y esto es lo que hace muy difícil nuestro trabajo.
And you can see, this is a small example of how many military came to violate the protest, the peaceful protest of the women resistance.
Aquí es un pequeño ejemplo de cómo la cantidad de militares que vinieron a violentar la manifestación pacífica de las mujeres.
And you can notice there were like 3 women, only 3 women, and look at the
Solo hay
military.
3 mujeres y observar la cantidad de militares.
And this is not so long, just a few months ago.
Solamente hace unos meses.
And I was one of the victims of this intervention, military intervention.
Había una víctima de esta intervención militar.
And of course, the women like get injured, and just they beaten her without without care if it's like become handicapped or become injured or hurt. They just beaten her.
Las mujeres son heridas y golpeadas y sin ninguna contemplación y se le puede dejar minusválida.
And here I want also to explain that the Moroccan authority are treating the women the same as men. There is no difference.
Quiero aclarar que las autoridades marroquíes tratan igual a las mujeres que a los hombres. No hay diferencia.
Talking about like how they target the protester, the female protester in the streets, you are going to be surrounded by dozens of policemen.
De la manera en que la policía ataca a las mujeres, las rodean por docenas de policías.
And they will just beating you everywhere, in every like part of your bodies.
Y te golpean por todas las partes de tu cuerpo.
And of course we have examples of women who suffered from that violation. We have women who like she lost her eye because of that kind of beating.
Las mujeres sufren esta violencia hasta el extremo de que una mujer perdió su ojo en uno de estos asaltos.
We have also some women who lost their babies because of the beating in the streets. She was like they were pregnant.
También alguna mujer perdió su hijo por culpa de las palizas que recibieron en la calle.
We have examples of women who get cancer because of the beating on their breasts and they died.
También hay el caso de que mujeres tuvieron cáncer al ser golpeadas en sus pechos y murieron.
And they know the Moroccan military, you know, they are very intelligent. They don't take the women to the prison, but they know how they treat her. They target like the most dangerous places in your body. They target like beating you in your breast or like sensitive places that make you suffer in your whole life.
La policía no lleva a las mujeres a prisión, sino que se especializa en golpearlas en sus pechos o en sus lugares más sensibles, de manera que están sufriendo toda su vida.
And they don't like take us to the prison, not because they love us, of course, but because of the feminist movements around the world and the value that like female movements give to the women around the world, so they can like judge men easier than women.
El hecho de que no nos metan a las mujeres en prisión no es porque nos quieran, sino por la presencia, la existencia de movimientos feministas alrededor del mundo que pueden hacer fuerza, por lo tanto se enfocan más en detener a los hombres.
Yes, and thanks to all the women who are fighting for women's rights around the world.
Gracias a todas las mujeres que están luchando por los derechos de las mujeres en el mundo.
Because it can affect in different ways in our struggles conflict zones.
Esto tiene su efecto en nuestra lucha en las zonas de conflicto.
And from that reason, we can see all the demonstrations, the women, the Sahrawi women are taking a big part in it, because the Moroccan military, of course, men also is fighting, but for the Moroccan government, it's much easier to judge men and put them directly in the prison than women. That's why women is very active in the whole resistance in the occupied territory. And really, like latest period, we have only women in the street, like only women who fight the occupation.
Sí, las mujeres tienen una enorme presencia en la reivindicación y en la lucha, porque los hombres son detenidos y van a prisión directamente, y es por ello que muchas más mujeres están luchando. Incluso últimamente casi solo se ven mujeres en las manifestaciones.
And also in the meeting here you can see like we are trying to use any opportunity to express our express what we want and what we are defend for. This is a very normal meeting that we have together with other sisters in the resistance. And you can see there's Sukaina Jdahlu, she's over there. She spent 12 years in the prison. In the middle there is my sister Hayat Khattari. We had a meeting and I took this picture of women raising the flags and show to the world that we want the independence.
This is your sister. Bueno, esta es una reunión de hermanas resistentes. Una de las ocasiones en que yo tomé la foto de esta reunión, donde podéis ver en medio a Sukaina Jdahlu, que es la protagonista del cuadro que tenemos a la derecha, y mi hermana, que está en el centro con la mensa negra.
So that's why you maybe some people outside told me all the time when travel and meet different people, why you all the time bring Western Sahara issue in your conversation and discussion. And I told them easily, we cannot speak in our country. We are being silent for decades in our country, you know. We wouldn't say any word, just mention in the name of our country. We're not allowed, because we are going to be in the prison, we are going to be tortured, and we are going to be beaten in the streets or in your house, even in your houses.
Cuando viajo a otros países siempre me preguntan ¿por qué está siempre hablando del Sahara Occidental? En nuestro país no podemos ni siquiera mencionar una palabra del Sahara Occidental, porque nos llevarán a la cárcel, nos torturarán, nos golpearán en la calle o incluso en la casa.
And this is what I want to clarify, that the people in Western Sahara are not in the prison, but they are silent. Not all the people in the prison. Of course, there are a lot of prisoners, dozens of prisoners who are sentenced to life in the prison, 30 years in the prison. But not all the people are in the prison right away, but they are silent, they are under pressure.
Por supuesto, no todo el mundo está en la cárcel en el Sahara Occidental, pero hay el silencio. El silencio impuesto, o por supuesto que hay presos, hay gente que tiene condenas de 30 años, cadenas perpetuas, pero lo que hay sobre todo en la población es la imposición del silencio.
And I want all of you to believe my words, because when I'm talking about what Sahrawi people want, I'm from that reality and I belong to that society and I'm very close to Sahrawi. Sahrawis want their freedom. Sahrawi people want their independence. They don't want to be under control of Morocco. They just doesn't have the opportunity to say that. And this is why we are challenging Moroccan government, and we say to them, give us only 1 minute of expression without surrounding the protests or attacking us by force, and you will see that all the people are against the occupation.
Quiero que me creáis mi palabra de que lo que los saharauis queremos es la libertad y la independencia, y no queremos el control de Marruecos, y le pedimos a Marruecos que nos dé una oportunidad, un segundo, para decir lo que realmente queremos, y veréis que todo el mundo quiere la independencia.
Yeah. So this is also a picture of some activists who who were like showing or raising their fingers, the blue fingers, to express that they want to vote for their future, for their own future. They want like to choose their own future through a referendum. And it was a campaign which announced by some people who are supportive in the case and who are supporting the Western Sahara case. And they work in this campaign to like just push the process of United Nations process to solve the conflicts of the occupied territory of Western Sahara. So we express that we are supporting the campaign by doing this, like raising the blue finger.
Y en esta foto podéis ver algunas activistas que están levantando el dedo teñido de azul. Es una muestra porque es una campaña de apoyo a que la gente decida su futuro a través de un referéndum y bueno, es la muestra del apoyo a esta campaña.
So this is also the way that we use in our resistance. Announced a campaign which trying through it to reach the world outside our targeted audience, which are like human rights, international human rights organizations, politicians, and all the people who are interested in human rights to see or get more information about what's going on in the occupied territory.
Esta campaña que se realizó en apoyo del Sáhara Occidental está dirigida a activistas de derechos humanos, a políticos y a todo tipo de personas para que conozcan la causa.
There is like this is just a picture of also my sister that I took just to express that it was a very long time that the people of Western Sahara are suffering from repression, from persecution, but still have the hope for being independent and being free.
Esta es una foto que tomé de mi hermana y representa que a pesar de la opresión todavía tenemos una esperanza de ser libres.
But of course, if some of you see the picture for the first time, they will not seeing the meaningful of the picture without bringing a person and hear from the person, or just read the text which give more explanation about the picture.
Bueno, una persona que no conozca la causa necesitará ser informado, conocer más sobre lo que tiene detrás.
And this is why we go through a different also strategy, which is taking picture, give testimonies, and just publish them in social media.
Usamos mucho la fotografía para dar testimonio y para publicarla en redes sociales.
So this also development technology helped us a lot to raise up the Sahrawi voice and to just spread the information as we can all over the world.
El desarrollo de la tecnología también nos ha ayudado mucho en extender la voz de la causa saharaui en el mundo.
And this wasn't very earlier. It wasn't from the beginning of our suffering. It was only 10 years ago. So Morocco have succeeded in hiding all his crimes against Sahrawi people in the occupied territory.
Bueno, esta digamos, capacidad de la tecnología solo la tenemos desde hace 10 años. Marruecos ha triunfado en acallar la voz del pueblo saharaui.
So here also I want to just tell you that we are journalists, but before being journalists and being so active in social media, we are victim of the Moroccan violations and repression.
Quiero deciros que somos periodistas, pero antes de periodistas y activistas en las redes sociales somos víctimas de la opresión de Marruecos.
And we still under risks when we are trying to practice our activism.
Y estamos todavía bajo riesgo cuando intentamos practicar nuestro activismo.
So this activism, journalism or being a human rights defenders, it was very important for us to integrate this domain because the country is closed and nobody can visit the occupied territory and move freely, taking stories from the occupied territory to outside. That's why we found ourselves that we need to do this. We have to work as a journalist, as an activist, go to the street, protest, express as much we can our opinion about this conflict and what we want, because in the occupied territory we don't have like the opportunities to get access like in political level. We are not like very close to government. We are isolated from the reality, you know, from all what's going on around us and what's around us.
La situación de ocupación, de represión, de aislamiento nos hace querer transmitir con mucha más fuerza el mensaje a través de las redes sociales y a través de nuestro activismo y comunicar con el mundo exterior todo lo que está ocurriendo, que está silenciado.
So our demand is very normal and it's very just rights that each person deserves to have. We are asking Moroccan government to open the country on front of international press agencies. We are asking Morocco to accept us as a people there and don't deny the rights of Sahrawi people and the existence of Sahrawi people. We are asking the Moroccan government to not violate and push down the Sahrawi peaceful resistance, because we are peace people, we are peaceful people. All the time we get beaten, all the time we get tortured, but still believe in peace path.
Lo que le pedimos al pueblo, al gobierno de Marruecos es algo muy sencillo, y es que abra el país a las agencias de prensa internacionales, que deje de oprimirnos, que nos permita expresarnos y que nos deje en paz.
And we hope that the countries who have the power, who have voice, can do something to these people in this part of this world. Thank you very much. If any one of you want to ask any kind of questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias y os invito a hacer las preguntas que queráis, estaré feliz de responderlas.
Sí, yo quería hacerle varias preguntas. La primera, la primera es cómo se pueden comunicar. Sé que para las protestas tocando puertas, pero periodísticamente, si tienen algún organismo, alguna radio local, alguna forma, algún medio para comunicarse, ¿cuál es?
Do you have any platform, any way, maybe a radio? How can you communicate your situation?
Yeah, just to explain to her that the situation in the occupied territory, the people are not working, they have a lot of free time during the day. Also, the country is not well built by the Morocco. Morocco didn't build the country, so it's very easy to move from a house to another house. This is how we meet. Talking about if we are using the phones, as I mentioned, we need to make all our activities by secret. So we need to meet the activists directly and talk to them, discuss to them, because all the social media are controlled by the Moroccan government, the Moroccan intelligence, secret intelligence.
Nazha dice que como no hay trabajo, la gente tiene mucho tiempo libre, que como la construcción de la ciudad está muy mal hecha, tienen muchas oportunidades para encontrarse de manera secreta en persona unos a otros, y como os había dicho, no pueden usar los teléfonos ni las redes sociales porque están controladas por la policía secreta.
And also there are people who are working for them. That's why we need also to determine few people who knows more information about the form of the protest of the resistance, who can lately tell the others, so we don't spread the information just in before the protest happens. We need to make it as much secret as we can.
La policía también tiene personas informantes al interior de la resistencia, y por ello son muy selectivos al comunicar la información de dónde van a ocurrir estas protestas para que no se difunda.
Gracias.
And some of the protesters can attend the events, the incidents, and participate without even knowing, like 1 hour before, about the place or the time, or we can just came to his house or her house, and just catch her and take her to the place.
Algunas de las que protestan pues son personas que reciben la información 1 hora antes, porque pasamos por su casa y le decimos dónde va a ser la acción inmediatamente.
Y quería saber si los periodistas que trabajan con ella o alguien lleva algún registro tanto de las violencias, las cosas que les hacen a ellos, ¿no? Los muertos, si llevan alguna estadística, si eso lo pueden hacer.
Do you have with your group of your friends or in the resistance, you keep some files of the violence, of the killings? Are you allowed, or there is a way to keep a record of all this violence?
Yes, we are, I didn't screen the documentary, but how the documentary shows how we are filming the violations. We don't go to the ground and take our cameras and show it to the police. We're trying to hide our cameras in high buildings, to send some activists, other activists, to high buildings and use windows to film the violations. And of course, we have a lot of videos which already published in our pages on Facebook, and which also being useful for the human rights organizations, and which document directly the violence, women getting beaten and injured in the streets. So it's very hard to film, but we are trying to find the ways to do it.
Bueno, nuestro trabajo periodístico es documentar precisamente esa violencia, y los vídeos podéis ver que están filmados desde azoteas, desde lugares altos, de manera que la policía no tenga acceso a las cámaras y no la puedan quitar, y publicamos esas grabaciones inmediatamente para que el mundo las conozca y contemplen esa violencia.
And of course we were targeted by the police directly, and I'm talking about my personal experience. I was arrested 2 times while I was trying to film in the ground, and my materials were confiscated, and I was arrested and being interrogated for hours in the police station and beaten by the police.
Nuestro grupo está especialmente un objetivo concreto de la policía, y mi experiencia personal, que he sido detenida 2 veces, he sido golpeada e interrogada por filmar a nivel de calle.
Yeah, because Morocco, the enemy of Morocco is the camera. They are targeting all the people who are trying to make the violation visible.
Para Marruecos la cámara es un enemigo especial y es un objetivo concreto, porque visibiliza la violencia y la presión que están ejerciendo.
Yo quería preguntar si de cuáles son las relaciones, ¿no?, que se tienen, o si existen, entre las mujeres activistas en los territorios ocupados y las mujeres en la diáspora, quizás en otros sitios de Europa, o si tenéis alguna conexión, red, o pueden facilitar de alguna forma el trabajo de activismo en los territorios, o pueden recuperar información y tal, a nivel periodístico y en general.
She's asking about if you have any relation to other women, the women in the occupied territories, with other women in the diaspora or in Europe, and if you can build some kind of net, or if they can facilitate your work in any way.
Yeah, Saharaui
Saharaui women.
Actually, we would like to cooperate, and we would like to build a widely network together with all the Sahrawi bodies around the world. But it's very difficult. I mean, just in case, for example, communication, the people of Western Sahara really separates. Most of the people are living in their camps. We have different realities, different tragedies. So these differences can make the communication much more difficult. But we hope that we can like do more efforts in building a network. This is a very good idea.
Nos gustaría mucho construir una red con todas las mujeres fuera de los territorios ocupados, pero tenemos la tragedia de que existe el muro, de que la mayoría de la población está en campamentos de refugiados, pero sí que nos gustaría, a pesar de las dificultades, construir esta red.
Yo me gustaría preguntar, gracias ante todo, y preguntar si, como son estas mujeres las que están protestando tanto, también entonces son ellas las que llevan las cámaras, las que graban, las que fotografían.
Thank you, and I would like to ask you if there are especially women who take these photos, who are the ones who are filming, women especially.
Okay. Just to make it clear, we started journalism without getting any knowledge about journalism, because we didn't get the chance to study journalism or photography.
Bueno, quiero decirte que primero de todo nosotros empezamos con este activismo en los medios sin saber nada de periodismo ni nada de periodismo.
So we just started journalism. I'm talking about my personal experience. I started in 2010 together with some other Saharaui women, and trying to build our skills by ourselves until I get a chance to study photography in Norway, and I was lucky in that, and also I'm so thankful to the support committee in Norway, which is Norwegian support the Sahrawi case. This is in that time, but now currently, the situation currently, I think all the women can film, all the women can take testimonies and just being active in social media, because here we're not talking about journalists, official people or professional people. We're talking about activists who are practicing resistance, resistant activists, not a real journalist. So everybody can film, everybody can spread the information, everybody can document any violations close to her and just bring it to the activists, and we can just use the material.
Bueno, mi experiencia personal es que empecé a formarme junto a otras mujeres por mi cuenta desde el 2010 en cuanto a la técnica del periodismo, y luego tuve la oportunidad de ir a Noruega, estudié fotografía durante un año, a lo que estoy muy agradecida, con el apoyo del gobierno de Marruecos, y quiero aclarar que todas las mujeres que usan estos medios para documentar, para compartir, para expresar, son activistas usando la resistencia, no son periodistas, sino que son activistas usando la resistencia.
And of course the woman is trying as much she can to be active in the resistance in general, in different ways, being exist in the journalism activities, in the resistance, trying to write to the newspaper and so on, but there is nothing no organizer work. Because it's different when we are talking about organizations in the occupied territory, or we are talking about for example my team, Equipe Media. We're not talking about a place where we can meet or an official building of the organizations or something. This is what makes our work much more complicated. I hope that you got.
Bueno, en cuanto a nuestro equipo, nuestro equipo, que es Equipe Media, no tenemos una organización central porque tampoco tenemos una manera de reunirnos o de encontrarnos en un lugar concreto.
¿Hay alguna pregunta más? ¿Puedo hacer otra? Sí. Ella ha preguntado antes si teníais contacto con otras mujeres saharauis en el exilio. ¿tenéis contacto con mujeres en Marruecos, con marroquíes, ¿no? que apoyan vuestra causa? ¿Tenéis algún tipo de apoyo en el otro lado?
She asked before if you had any contact with Saharaui women outside the occupied territories, but now she wants to ask if you have any contact or any connection with Moroccan women in Morocco.
Okay, this I need to explain also the situation. I need to share with you that Morocco is considered Sahrawi people as an enemy. So he already used a widely propaganda in the Moroccan society to make all the Moroccans hate Sahrawi people. And also there is another thing that Western Sahara is a taboo for the Moroccans. So all the Moroccans cannot communicate freely with the Sahrawis. And here, like as examples, the Moroccan settlers in the occupied territory, we don't have a very good relations, to be honest, with the Moroccans women. For example, when it comes on the work level, of course, no Moroccan activist will share work with a Sahrawi woman inside the territory or inside the Morocco because they are afraid. And here I will bring an example, a small example, for example, the movement in the universities, because to study we have to move to Morocco to get education. Do you want to translate this?
Yes. Bueno, quiero explicaros un poco la situación porque en el Sáhara Occidental los saharauis son los enemigos de los marroquíes y hacen propaganda para que los marroquíes odien a los saharauis. Entonces el Sáhara Occidental es incluso un tabú. Por ello las mujeres marroquíes y saharauis no se comunican y a una saharaui no se le ocurriría compartir su trabajo con una marroquí porque tienen miedo.
But talking about the women, the women activists, the Moroccan women activists, for example, in the universities, inside Moroccan universities, there are a lot of women who support the case of Western Sahara, support our resistance, but when they just graduated and trying to find a job, they just forget about the issue, and because of course they are afraid and they maybe will affect on their future. And
Quiero comentar que en la universidad sí que hay un cierto movimiento de mujeres marroquíes que apoyan a la causa saharaui, pero en cuanto salen de la universidad abandonan esa lucha.
So the most support from the women is just in universities level, while in education places, but not practically in the ground. But there is also some women trying to be neutral and but not supporting the independence or accept or respect the women resistance for the independence. Just we don't want human rights violations against Sahara women, trying to write some report, but not with this very clear words that the people in Western Sahara. They also try to deny the facts that people want independence.
Hay un cierto apoyo sobre todo a nivel de las universidades y en el plano educativo, pero hay un apoyo relativo porque no es un apoyo a la independencia, sino quizá al respeto a los derechos humanos, o sea que es un tipo de apoyo un poco relativo, digamos.
No. Con respecto a lo que estaba diciendo, eso ocurre también con regiones como el RIF en Marruecos, que son regiones que son también víctimas de represión por razones muy distintas, pero no existe algún tipo de relación con los movimientos sociales en el RIF, sobre todo después de la represión en la Lucema de hace 2 años, donde una parte importante de la población estaba detenida. ¿Ahí hay alguna brecha de posible solidaridad?
Is there any relation, any solidarity, for example, with the Moroccan people of the region of the Rif? that suffered
Reef
also
movements.
the repression 2 years ago.
Of course. We stand in solidarity for the reef movements, and I personally have published a lot of things about reef movements, about the group of Zafzafi who are being sentenced to 20 years in the prison now, just because they are journalists and they are protesting peacefully for their free rights. But for the Moroccans, even the activists who were very close to Zafzafi group, they didn't publish anything on the Facebook pages. They don't publish anything because they are afraid. So you can imagine how the Moroccans will be engaged in our resistance. This is impossible, I think. This is my personal opinion.
Yo personalmente soy solidaria con la marroquíes de la zona del Rif, con el grupo de Zafzafi que han sido sentenciados a 20 años de cárcel. Yo he publicado en las redes sociales noticias apoyándolos, pero los propios activistas o las personas en resistencia del Rif no se atreven a publicar cosas y podéis imaginaros la dificultad que pueda haber para que haya solidaridad.
And our cooperation, if it's happened in the future, I don't think that it will reach something, because already Morocco is trying to make Morocco and the Moroccan people and Sahrawi people different and being so far from together, from being cooperate and trying to make more awareness about the dictatorship of Morocco.
Creo que en el futuro también lo veo difícil que haya una conexión entre otros movimientos y los saharauis, porque el caso de Marruecos es una dictadura.
And here we can bring the propaganda of the Moroccan. When we just traveled to Morocco, we suffered from a lot of discriminations from even normal people. So you can imagine how Morocco succeeding and make the Moroccan people hate the Sahrawi people, because they saying that we want to isolate Morocco, we want to break the Muslim unity, the Moroccan unity, the Arabic unity.
Podéis imaginaros cómo cuando nosotros viajamos a Marruecos sufrimos esta propaganda del gobierno que dice que nosotros queremos romper la unidad de Marruecos y aislar a Marruecos.
But of course we will be so happy if some Moroccans want to support the fair rights of the people, both Moroccans and Sahrawi, because both are suffering from repression.
Sí, nos haría muy feliz que también la gente de Marruecos apoyara la causa, porque incluso ellos y nosotros estamos ambos sufriendo de la presión.
Mi segunda pregunta era, primero...
La última pregunta, ¿vale?
Perdón.
No, hazla, pero vamos...
Perdón.
Hazla.
Porque antes decía que entre activistas no se comunican por WhatsApp o por redes sociales por miedo de represión. Entonces, ¿cómo consigue ella mantenerse en las redes sociales y hacer salir su voz? Si ha tenido problemas de que le hayan cerrado la página en algún momento, ¿y cómo la podemos seguir en redes sociales?
She's asking that, as you were telling before, between the activists you cannot use very much the social media or the phone, but how do you do to spread your message in the social media, or how can we follow you?
What I meant by using the social media, I meant when we are organizing a form of resistance. We cannot communicate freely with our colleagues who are going to participate with us in that event. So that's why we need to organize the things directly, physically, together with people without using the social media. But all our work is in social media, so we don't care, we don't spare. I mean, publication in the public, this is not going to be a big deal for Moroccans, because we already decide to publish it in the public, not like a separate conversations or personal conversation with our colleagues.
A lo que se refería antes con este secreto que tienen que mantener es debido a la organización de las acciones de resistencia, pero una vez que estas se hacen, pues publican las redes, y a eso Marruecos no puede hacer nada porque es información que está en el espacio público ya.
¿Y cómo podemos seguirlo?
How can they follow you?
I have my Facebook page, and with the Equipe Media also has a website, and we can just...
Ella puede facilitar su página de Facebook o la de Equipe Media, que también tiene una página web.
Yes, we can just change it. Yeah, okay.
¿Qué contempla ahí?
Facebook. DMM with the
Can you put it in the into your Facebook so they can see it?
Nazha Elkhalidi, Nazha Elkhalidi, en realidad Elkhalidi es un apellido marroquí.
¿Puedes ponérselo tú?
Ella, su padre, en el Sahara, los nombres se construyen con los apellidos de los padres, con el nombre del padre, del abuelo, así sucesivamente, pero en las zonas ocupadas toda la población saharaui sufre la modificación de sus nombres. Los artistas del grupo Al-Farisi, los activistas que trabajamos juntos, estamos denunciando la verdad del expolio de los recursos naturales y la represión del territorio y la ocupación realizada por las partes del expolio de la cultura saharaui, ¿no? Y el tema de los nombres, uno de los violencias más graves, atentando contra un bien jurídico en el derecho a la identidad. Ella se llama Nazha Elkhalidi.
Lo tenéis en el programa el nombre, vamos.
Pero ¿cómo eligen el apellido entonces? ¿Lo ponen si acaso o...?
Sí, arbitrariamente. Mira, por ejemplo, Sukeina se llama Sukeina Haidar. Pero ella cuando salió de la cárcel, estuvo más de 13 años en la cárcel, perdió a su hijo allí. Antes su nombre le llamaban Sukeina Haidar. Lo digo un poco mal, pero bueno, entonces su familia, sus hermanas se llaman Pedago y ella se llama Idris. O sea, los hermanos saharauis tienen nombres diferentes porque se está intentando dibujar su identidad, su origen, que es una violencia muy potente, ¿no? Contra mi pueblo es un genocidio cultural,
Bueno, os paso la información, es Equipe Media, está en el programa, ¿no? Está en el programa también de Equipe Media y el suyo. Muchísimas gracias, Nazha.
Equipe Media.
¿Me das el apellido?
Elkhalidi con K y H.
Vale. Bueno, ella es Nazha Elkhalidi, otra compañera saharaui que ha venido a compartir la tarde de hoy con nosotras. Ella va a compartir con nosotras un documental que se llama Hawiya, Apátrida, resumiendo, que bueno, ahora nos va a explicar un poquito de qué va, pero bueno, también queríamos traer los ejemplos de cómo también desde aquí hay mujeres que también están utilizando las herramientas audiovisuales y el arte como forma de resistencia, ¿vale? Nazha viene de Asturias y va a compartir, vamos a ver su documental y luego vamos a hacer un pequeño debate. Muchas gracias. Sí. Vale, pues ya está. Te la voy a poner
Bueno, en primer lugar quiero agradecer a Las Resistentes por la invitación y dar voz a Bidul Hawiya porque me está costando mucho sacarlo adelante. Me lo ha rechazado en todos los festivales españoles porque estoy atacando directamente al Estado español y no me arrepiento. Me lo han aceptado en Canarias.